Good evening, iRacers. Welcome to BSR Radical Thursday. Lee Thompson with Alex Simpson as normal, bringing you the action this week from Sebring. Going to be a tricky night for the guys and the Radicals, I think, and unfortunately, I think that difficulty in the circuit car combination is maybe reflected a little bit in our grid size. Just 16 cars at the minute we're seeing in qualifying, Alex, as they come up to the end of their session.
Yeah, hello everybody. Good to be here as always. Like you said, Lee, Sebring, always a track that's known for low participation. It is extremely bumpy. It's very difficult circuit. It has a fantastic flow, and once you learn and understand this circuit, it may well be one of your favourite circuits on the sim. But yeah, when you're stuck with perhaps a fixed setup, a car that doesn't respond too well to bumps and sharp curbs, I could see how it would put a few people off tonight. So yeah, down to 16, and we'll see how many of those rock up on the grid. But I still think, like last week, we didn't have many numbers, but we still had some great racing. And I think we're going to have something very similar. This circuit is just made for good, close, competitive racing. A good couple of overtaking points down, of course, into the hairpin is one, and then Sunset Bends, another. Turn one, also another good opportunity. Good chance for drivers to fight back after an overtake as well that's gone on in Sunset. So should be an interesting night's worth of racing. Of course, 3 races tonight for those of you that are new to the series. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. 47 humidity, partly cloudy, 28 degrees according to the stat information there. So I would say that was pretty reasonable track conditions out there, Lee.
Yeah, sounds good. And as you say, last week we had some of the best racing, I think, of the series so far this year. And like I say, all it took was those few little pairings and little groupings together. So it certainly doesn't require a big field. But here's hoping for a similar session today. I think Kane Halliburton is probably going to find himself well and truly at the sharp end of the field today, because he's not really got his main championship challengers lining up with him on the grid. Otherwise, through the rest of the field, I think we're going to, as you say, see some really close racing. It'll really be interesting to see how this fixed setup that the guys are having to run as part of the league is able to cope with some sections of the track. Of course, the infamous like last corner coming into the pit straight with the old concrete sections. Yeah, it's so tricky in a car that you've got dialed in, let alone a fixed setup, but you don't get to make those adjustments that you need. So fingers crossed for the guys, it's a forgiving setup for them, and they can survive. Otherwise, we're maybe going to see lots and lots of cars really having issues keeping on the black stuff, and I guess black and white stuff on this circuit maybe. Yeah. Yeah, as we go through the 3 races tonight. So yeah, remember 3 races, 2 reverse grids. So reverse grid for race 2 based on race 1 results. Same thing for race 3, and that's really going to mix things up as we go through the evening as well. So just waiting for the session to roll over so that we can bring the official qualifying results up, and then we are going to be good to go for race 1 here at Sebring.
Right, qualifying results are in and official and on your screen now.
There we go. So Kane Halliburton then takes that pole position. It looked like a pretty dominant pole for Kane this week. As I said, he's maybe not got his biggest challengers lining up alongside him, but 1 second gap to P2, Paul Crabb. Looking much closer than for the rest of the field. Jamie Mayers then in 3rd with Fraser Williamson in 4th. Paul Denton in 5th with Jason McRitchie in 6th. Luke Cooper in 7th with Eamon McCauley in 8th. Sam Fitzpatrick down in 9th with Steve Hefford in 10th. Craig Williams in 11th with Carl Hardy in 12th. Lorne Murray in 13th with Alan McCain in 14th. Lane O'Collar 15th. And bringing up the last position is Richard Warmingham in 16th position. So as I say, yeah, big gap at the front there for Kane Halliburton. But otherwise, it's looking pretty close, to be fair, through the rest of the top 10.
All important first few corners here, so critical. Very easy to get it wrong going into turn 1, so we'll have to keep an eye out, see what goes on. Every driver is on the grid, I believe, so just waiting for the lights now.
Here we go. So Kane Halliburton then lining up on pole with Paul Crabb alongside him. Kane is going to have the inside line to turn 1, and the green lights go. We see the black lines off the start for each of the guys. P3 got a good start, Jamie Mayers, as did Paul Crabb, to be fair, looking to come around the outside initially, Kane, but actually Crabb loses out on entry into turn 1. Mayers goes much deeper. Crabb spears wide, makes contact with the car on the inside. 3 cars now involved, and Paul Crabb lost out big time in there. We'll see how he recovers through the rest of the race, but at the front, Kane Halliburton got away clean. Yeah, it's just a little bit unfortunate. It looked like a big difference in timing and braking in turn 1. I think Paul Crabb was very cautious, and that ended up causing a little bit of a cordial effect. Sam Fitzpatrick now is trying to challenge Paul Crabb as they head into the hairpin. Not quite close on this occasion, but just behind Williams and Hefford. Hefford under braking, gets the position, cuts across an exit as well. And Steve Hefford takes that position from Craig Williams there, as the rest of the cars in stream onto the short little back section, as the leaders now coming through a couple of left-handers. And Kane Halliburton not instantly scampering away, but looking like he's got things under control.
Yeah, 1.2 as it now clicks up. Actually 1.3 on the exit of there. So half a lap. I tell you what, I do think this is going to be a walk in the park for Kane. He was very quick last night in the World F3 Championship as well. Gave us a run for our money in race 1. Not quite sure what happened in race 2. I mean, beat me in both races, to be fair, but then I had a woeful race meeting. I crashed out twice.
So it's a tough place to try to negotiate in those single-seaters as well. As they head now on towards Sunset Bend, we see Halliburton in the foreground streaming by, and then we've got 3 Craig setup shop cars in a row running 2, 3 and 4. Paul Crabb getting very close into the back of James Ritchie there, sort of mid-corner, and Sam Fitzpatrick just hanging on to the coattails of Paul Crabb. So
who was that in the background? Someone just got a little squirrely. It was either Hefford there, or it might have actually have been Craig Williams. One of them, couldn't quite see which one it was, just got a little bit out of shape coming off the final.
Yeah, very easily done on that section of track. Of course, as we say, Sam Fitzpatrick closing massively on Paul Crabb now as they come off of turn 1. Goes very wide on entry, does Fitzpatrick, different line to Paul Crabb there through that corner. But that little pairing looks like continuing on battling, and just behind as well, or just ahead as well rather, the 2 Craig setup shop cars are looking like they're drawing closer as well, Williamson and
not too far behind Jamie Mayers as well. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th fighting it out on the podium. Kane didn't pull away so much in the second half of the lap, that's for sure. So gap is up to 1.5 seconds. So he is just stretching his legs. He'll have that comfort zone now that I know I'm a fan of. Like once you hit over that 1 second barrier and really not focused on what the guys are doing behind, you can just really concentrate on your own apexes. Make sure you nail all the marks and just push on kind of thing. Great bit of advertising for Craig setup shop there, isn't it? All 3 cars all in a line, making a great little shot.
Ritchie running out of road and having to take to the inside. I wonder if he gets a slowdown penalty there.
Oh, you do?
He does. Yeah, there you go. So he has to back off. He's going to lose 3 positions, I think, if he's not careful. Sam Fitzpatrick's going to draw alongside. It's going to be very close then with Steve Hefford, but no, he has to back off for Hefford as well. So drops Ritchie all the way down into 7th. All cars smashing into all in the background. Paul Denton, I think, in the wall.
And he was to get a little replay of that, see exactly how he did it. Worth pointing out as well that don't believe the setup was built by Craig's setup shop, so that's not the reason why this has gone into the wall or the McRitchie skipped the corner there. So pretty standard incident coming out of the that sort of right-hander from the back onto the back straight there. I know I've done it plenty of times in testing, so I'm really not surprised that we've seen a victim there.
And Steve Hefford there looking like he's struggling in the background. Yeah, he is. He's getting passed by both Williams, and maybe Lorne Murray as well as Hefford. Side by side into the hairpin. Murray. Hefford battling with Craig Williams, but struggles.
Yeah. So you're right. That was Williams. It was McRitchie that got through. So. But massive moment for Craig. Very Larry. but kept it pointing forward. Lost about a second, so not too bad, I think, when you have those big moments.
He's still struggling.
This is what I said about those curbs. Those curbs are really high. There's a couple that are almost like bricks, aren't they? They're very squared. And I feel like this is what the Radical is really not appreciating around here. But yeah, seems to have got it under control. The tyre temp take about half a lap for them to get down into a decent working range. And I think that's where he's struggling. But yeah, come start finish line, I think he'll be back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how quickly he can draw back onto Hefford there. Watching Paul Crabb and Sam Fitzpatrick come down towards the final corner. Fitzpatrick's not going to be close enough this time by, but sticks his nose out a little bit on entry just to make sure Crabb noses out. We see the back of those cars struggling all through the corner there, really bucking around the whole way through, but all under control that time by for everyone. So our standings at the minute: Kane Halliburton in the lead, 3.7 seconds ahead of Jamie Nares in second, Fraser Williamson in third, with Paul Crabb in fourth, Sam Fitzpatrick in fifth, as we see Crabb run a little bit wide in exit turn one. And in fact, Fitzpatrick makes a dive down on the inside of Crabb as I'm looking at the timing screen. Crabb going to try and come back at him, almost touch front to rear corners, just about gets away with it. Fitzpatrick closes the door, comes over the front of his nose, and looks like he's got a position locked in anything else. So Sam Fitzpatrick up into fourth, and all of a sudden Crabb is under pressure now from James McRitchie as well.
Yeah, he made the mistake, obviously running wide, and Fitzpatrick, like you say, he saw that opportunity. He had much better momentum coming off of the first turn, threw it up the inside, good committed overtake. Now we'll see if Crabb can fight back. He seemed to have weathered that immediate storm that was McRitchie right on his tail, and now he's focused on Fitzpatrick trying to get the place back. Pokes his nose out, has a little look. Optimistic, I think, from there. Fitzpatrick didn't leave the door open, he did just close it, so yeah, good committed driving there as well. Sometimes the drivers that, you know, when you're trying to win a championship, you might just be like, oh, I'll leave a car's width just in case he does do something silly. But yeah, Sam decided not cover it off best way.
Yeah, it worked out well for Fitzpatrick there, as you say. Otherwise, just a little bit further back, 10th, 11th, Luke Cooper and Elaine O'Connor with Eamon Macaulay as well. Sorry, looking pretty close, little battling for that last position in the top 10. Different lines for the guys going through the S's there as well as they head onto the back straight. Oh, we see the car bumping on it, turning there from Luke Cooper. Almost lost the rear of the car. Just as he tried to take advantage of how wide you can go on entry there. I think just the change in surface just brought him out a little bit, but got away.
Yeah, just too much, and Lane is going to come through, or is he? It's totally different lines through Sunset, and I love that about that bend, that you really can have so many difference. You know, you can come in a bit tight and you can have a slightly wider exit, and completely vice versa. And we see this battle continue down and into turn one. This will be interesting to see how these guys get through here. Again, very tight line for O'Connor there. He's going to not quite have the exit speed where Luke Cooper will. I think he's just got a bit of a gap now. Late on the brakes. Oh, overshoots it a bit. Has to compromise his exit. Connor back up the inside. Great battling from these two. And yeah, no quarter given. And I think we'll have to probably settle that just for a little moment now and let Eamon Macaulay just break away with that damage that he's got in the front of there as well. That car looks like it's been through the walls.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't look like in the best condition. Back near the front, we're seeing lots of...
Well, just as Lane got that move done, absolutely... Well, I don't know if he quite pile-drived it into the wall, but it's not close. I think he might have just got away with it. He is going to close this place to Lorne Murray, though, so he's going to put him last of the runners. No damage on the front, though, so he is okay. Right,
yeah.
So that battle that you were about to talk about.
Absolutely. I can see the timing screen lighting up with our yellow warnings of close battling, and we've got a nice little string of cars here forming together. So we're looking at Williamson, Crabb, McRitchie, Fitzpatrick, Hefford and Williams all in that group battling. And looks like Fitzpatrick going to be the one looking to make a move now on McRitchie. He's got the drive off that penultimate corner, moves across even before the braking zone, in fact, and just behind Hefford and Williams as well, under side by side. Oh, Hefford very, very wide through entry to Sunset Bend there, but gathers it up, just loses all his momentum and drops to the back of that queue. But yeah, what a little train of cars. They've got half the grid is running in shot right now, so these guys are going to continue to battle for a while, I think.
Yeah, indeed. I said just a lap ago, you can take multiple lines around Sunset Bend, but that's not the one that you want, Mr. Hefford. That just too wide. Unfortunately, there is a couple of monster bumps around that corner. Really wide and really tight. That's where they are, and you just try and find the line that avoids them. Somewhere in the middle. Oh, and he's around again in the background.
Looks like he was lucky and kept it out the wall. I think indeed he did. So car has survived without damage, and in fact he's not going to lose any further positions, but has absolutely lost the train that we were looking at. As side by side again from Crab and Williamson. Is that? Yeah, it was. So Crab gets that position on exit, it looked like. Fraser Williamson fourth, Paul Crab in third. So Kane and Halliburton nearly 8 seconds. As I look away again.
Couple of drivers just getting it lit up there. And yeah, Paul Crab unfortunately does it again. That's a couple of times that he's done that. So Williamson back through, Fitzpatrick also through. Well, basically everybody through there that was in that little cluster.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so tricky on these traction zones it's looking like for the guys here this week.
Yeah, Sam having a little look and coming under a bit of pressure from Williams, while we've got Williamson ahead of him as well. So teammates, of course, sort of never easy battling. Two teammates, they can work together.
And it looks like it's working very well there with Williamson moving offline and giving Williams a draft. Is it going to be enough to get Fitzpatrick into Sunset Bend? He's going to have a good old go at it. Fitzpatrick has to give up position initially. Different lines from all three cars they go through. And yeah, Williamson gets that position. It's a great bit of team driving there. Williamson moves across very early to give Williams a draft. And really, Fitzpatrick, I was surprised he didn't follow and take that draft away from him.
Yeah, he needed to straight away. You just see what was happening there. Obviously, it's easy for us. Spotting the liveries, pretty clear exactly what they're working there. I have no doubt that Sam will try and bounce back. I mean, I think he'll be happy with the top 5, will Sam? Good solid points, helps towards his championship, of course. He'll know the consistency is what's going to pay for him come the end of the season. Just want to very quickly check in with our leader, because a bit like F1, when you know, you have your drivers out 20 seconds in the lead, they don't get a lot of love. And Kane, he's not had a lot of love at the moment either. But yeah, doing a great job out there. Faultless performance. Fastest lap for him in the race, a 155.92. The next fastest that I can see is a 156.35 actually from Craig Grimm. So that's not too far off. But most of the other drivers, high 56s, low 57s. So yeah, absolutely flying out there and deserves a little bit of applause.
And absolutely, and it's going to be really critical for Kane with this big opportunity he's got this week of really his only championship challenge being Fitzpatrick here in the race. He needs to get wins all 3 races and make the absolute most of this weakened field that we're seeing this week and really strengthen that championship charge. As we see this great battle for that final podium spot still, Williams, and Fitzpatrick. Williams has closed pretty well on Williamson through this lap as well. Wonder how aggressive they're going to be. Do they think that Williams is the one who can keep moving forward? They do. Look, Williamson moves across, allows Williams straight past and up into third. So orchestrated move. They feel like Williams has got the pace and can maybe continue to challenge Jamie Mayers now for second.
But if I'm not mistaken, is Jamie not on their team as well? He is. So
perhaps there's championship points that they're thinking about that we're not quite aware of.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We'll see if any of them come in for a little interview afterwards and let us know what the thinking was there. Fitzpatrick going through on James McRitchie though, so right, no, sorry, that's Fraser Williamson, isn't it? Yeah.
Too many crates set up guys. Just big wiggle under power for Williamson. Did very well not to go into the side of Fitzpatrick and keep it pointing straight. Just lost that momentum. But yeah, they both struggled under power there, but yeah, Williamson was the one that really had it break away. And it's so tricky for the guys here in these conditions on this track, but they survive another day. So nice little pairings as already Williamson's trying to come straight back at Fitzpatrick actually on the exit. Much better exit out the hairpin. He's going to be on the outside now for the next section of corners. How brave is Fitzpatrick going to be on the brakes? Pretty brave as the answer. He tries to hang on in there. Williamson just goes a tiny bit too deep, can't carry enough apex speed, and Fitzpatrick gets that position back. Good driving from the turn.
Yeah. important for Fitzpatrick not to light up the rears. That's what he did, and that's how Williamson got the run the last time. Much cleaner exit. Oh, someone who didn't get a clean exit in the background. That is James McRitchie. Massive twitch. Paul Crabb comes back through. So it just seems to me people don't want this top 5 finish tonight.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. So we're seeing these guys really struggling with these driving conditions. I'm reluctant to call them errors because it is such a tricky circuit car combination, as Mares now just gives way to Williams, and Williams just drives straight past into Sunset Bend up into second. So yeah, he's moved through those few cars very, very quickly. But as you say, it'll be interesting to find out later on as to the tactical reason for seemingly moving Mayers through. In the background, Fitzpatrick and Williamson still very, very close. Williamson not going to stick his nose out into turn 1 this time by. Paul Crabb and James McRitchie very close as well. Same deal, no moves being done quite this time. Oh, but Paul Crabb goes deep and wide into turn 1, just about going to keep it out the wall. And McRitchie lucky not to get collected as well. So Paul Crabb now down into 7th. He's lost 5 positions from his starting grid.
Just goes to show how they're struggling out there, I think, more than anything at the moment. Having a little look was Williamson, but nothing coming off it. I just wanted to add, really, obviously, that Craig Williams, Fitzpatrick actually does get a little bit out of shape again coming out of the hairpin, and Williamson goes through. So these two keep exchanging positions. But yeah, I did want to say that Craig obviously up 9 spots. He is the only driver that's even close to Kane Halliburton in terms of pace at the moment as well. So I feel it might be an interesting second race to see them both coming through the pack. Definitely Craig will have the experience of getting through the traffic this time, up 9 spots showing me on my screen. So could be an interesting second race even, with those two, coming through the field and seeing who can do it. If Williamson gets a bit of a jump, gets a few seconds lead over King, that might be a very, very interesting sort of close to the race, see if King can hunt him down.
Yeah, it could be a very different dynamic as we go into those second, third races. Only 1 or 2 laps remaining, depending on how it ends up with King Halliburton's position on track. So not long, any more changes to occur. Fitzpatrick still fighting to try and take that 4th position back from Williamson. Williamson gives it to him. Can Fitzpatrick stay out of the way? Fitzpatrick, very alert, hits the brakes. Good job he did, because I think Williamson would have gone straight into the side of Fitzpatrick. Let's see how much damage Williamson has. Surely he's going to struggle through this corner. He looks like he's got it under control. Thought he had a moment on turn-in, but looks okay. But he did hit that wall hard on the final corner.
Yeah, Sam being very patient, making sure he doesn't get collected in the incident. Definitely looks like he's all over him right now. Just needs to kind of pick his moment and get it done. What's the straight line speed like for Williamson? Is this going to be affected? We'll go on board with Fitzpatrick as he looks to the inside. And we're already shot and through.
Yeah, Williamson gives it a good old battle, but as you say, it looks like he is now in a wounded car. Can he come back at Fitzpatrick through the next section? He's certainly trying, not struggling for acceleration at the minute. Fitzpatrick going to defend hard on the inside, Williamson on the outside. Both get it stopped. Williamson turns in a tiny bit early, but gives that car space. Not quite got the drive off the corner. Fitzpatrick covers it off with it.
Sam needs a good couple of corners here if he's going to break away. Oh, well, that's going to do it. Willies to keep it out of the wall.
Didn't look like it.
No, he didn't. No. Well, if he had some damage before, got even more now, so that will pretty much wrap up that one. Good little battle further back, actually, which is worth mentioning. Battle of the walking wounded, really, I think, isn't it? There's Murray, O'Connor and Hefford. All 3 of them have been in the wars, as you can see.
Yeah, certainly. You see the rear wing on Steve Hefford there looking way out of shape, so doing well. As I say, the rear steps out. We'll keep doing well to keep the rear under control, I was about to say. So it looks like he's having a fighting effort on there, and Halliburton does get through the start-finish line before the timer gets to 20 minutes, so it will be one more lap continuing on. He's really let the gap drop to the cars behind us. He's taking it pretty steady now. It was 8 seconds at one point, maybe even got higher, but it's down to 5.5, 6 seconds now.
He's clearly listening to the broadcast. He wants, you know, he's like,
he's got to bring it home.
So I say, if they're not watching me, then perhaps I better give them something to think about. Maybe like, oh, you know, we could go, oh, he's going to run out of fuel.
He's got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll be like, I'll get some airtime somehow.
Yeah, just taking it super, super cautious, I think. Making sure that he gets to finish. Having said that, he did get a purple sector in sector 2 this time by, but nonetheless. O'Connor looking like he's the car under pressure from Hefford there, and now McRitchie and Williamson. They're going to continue running in formation. Williamson very wide on the run out of the previous corner there, but
I think that was actually McRitchie getting past Williamson there, so Williamson really struggling with the extra damage where he hit. So yeah, teammates, they have changed positions, but yeah, McRitchie up into 5th now.
Yeah, and that'll explain him struggling on the exit that previous corner, then running wide with that damage, as you say. So yeah, so Ken Halliburton coming around to the second half of the lap now. It's all over the curbs, taking his normal race line. That's the thing. You don't want to try too differently, because that's when mistakes can come in and tyre temperatures can drop, and you can end up with unexpected events. But yeah, Halliburton well under control, down into Sunset Bend, final corner to go, and we can see the Craig setup shop cars there in the background, and yeah, looking like a very comfortable victory for Halliburton. I would suggest his easiest of the season. Absolutely cruises around that final corner, makes sure of it, and Halliburton takes the win for race 1 for Racecraft Engineering. Craig Williams then does get that second position, up 9 spots for Craig Williams to take that second. Jamie Mayers then coming across in third, with Fitzpatrick rounding out the top 4, gaining 5 positions from his good slot.
Good drive from him. Richie up 1 in the end, thanks to his teammate right in the last lap. Gets us the final top 5, so good run from him. Yeah, Fraser involved in some great battles. Car is battered. Paul Crabb, another driver that was involved in a lot of battles out there. 5 spot.
Yeah, tough race for Paul Crabb there. So he got an excellent qualifying position. Looked like he had a good initial start, and then it just sort of went a little bit downhill there from the rest of the race. So O'Connor hanging on to that 10th position from Lorne Murray. So yeah, that's that final 10th position taken. And those are the last cars running on the lead lap. Just Alan McCain running a lap or more down. Kane Halliburton there celebrating with some donuts for his race 1 victory. So yeah, good effort from the guys there, giving us some entertainment and some battles with this reduced field, as we may hear my puppy whining in the background. And but it'd be really interesting to see how the guys cope with these reverse grids coming up. Again, I bet, you know, we've seen quite a spread in lap times. I bet we're going to see at least one of the quicker guys getting caught out a little bit with a braking zone or an apex speed, and could be some interesting stuff to come. So here's our classified race results then. Kane Halliburton taking a win, 5 seconds in the end is what the timing screen shows, but yeah, he was up to nearly 10 seconds at one point during the race. Craig Williams then, the first of the Craig setup shop cars in the top 5 in that second position. Jamie Mayers then in third with Sam Fitzpatrick in 4th. James McRitchie in 5th with Fraser Williamson in 6th. Paul Crabb in 7th with Eamon McCauley in 8th. Luke Cooper in 9th with Lane O'Connor in 10th. Lord Murray in 11th with Steve Hefford in 12th. Alan McCain in 13th with Paul Denton in 14th. Carl Hardy in 15th. And although Richard Warming there is showing on the results, he did not take the starts.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Rich there. That's a shame. Or was
Yeah,
it a first? It wasn't a first lap incident, because obviously there was that thing on the.
Yeah, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't take the start. So I think maybe
that's why the grid took so long as well. Then
yeah, maybe he took part in practice and maybe decided not to do qualifying of a race, would be my guess.
Right, it's that time of the night where I get to spin the magic wheel, and of course I didn't get the honours on Tuesday night for the BSR MX-5 Winter Series, of course, because Marco was covering me. So yeah, this will be my my only spin, I think, the week. So here we go. Formula 3.5 having in the week. So, one more spin, it's all good. Right. We've missed 20th, we've got 15th, basically a full grid. Lee, who's going to be on pole?
So that should be Carl Hardy then, I believe, on pole, depending on how many laps. How many laps down was Alan McCain? I forgot. I think he was 11 laps down, right? So yeah, Carl Hardy, I think, in 15th position.
That would make sense.
Yeah, so as I say, so it's going to be interesting to see how the guys cope with these remaining 2 races for the evening. We're going to be away just for a little bit while the next session gets set up. Whilst you're away, perhaps that's a good opportunity for you to like us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube if you're enjoying our coverage. You can check us out on Twitter, Apex Racing TV. Most of our broadcasts during the week are restreamed live between Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, so you can use your platform of choice. Right, so we shall see you in just a little while for race 2 for BSR Radical Thursday.
A few seasons ago. If you don't know about the Twin Ring Motegi Oval, turns 1 and 2 are completely different to turns 3 and 4. Turn 1 and turn 2 you can pretty much lift, but by the time it gets to turn 3, due to the lack of banking through the final 2 corners, you've almost got to get on the brakes in some of the cars that you're racing, because you're not going to be making your way through the corner otherwise, and got to make sure you don't hit the wall either on the exit. But today we're on the road course and the cars are starting to grid up. We haven't really seen many cars on the circuit, because when we joined the broadcast after the track guide, the qualifying session was at an end. But you'll see some in a moment. Aeronom starts on the pole. Second is Rob Hartley. It's a very short pace lap here as well. Pat Iannucci is in third. Mike Down fourth. Kevin Ford fifth. And Clint Vigas in sixth. Seventh, Cameron Bidwell. Then Tyler Schiffler, Steve Thomas, Brandon Whitworth in rounding out the top 10. Then 11th for Paul Gibson. 12th is Jeff Jacobs. Moving on further back, 13th place is Leon Wright in the 77 car. 14th for Russ Ruddock. Then Steve Daniel in 15th. Mike Monaghan 16th. Raymond Bader in 17th. And Matt Katila in 18th, with Trent Brown rounding out the Mustangs. Into the Mazdas then, it's Eric Violet on the pole there in the EV Paints car. Asbury Motorsports 1's Travis Schwenke is second. Jacob Beasley third. Then Dave Payton, the Canadian, in fourth. 5th for Jim Liss, 6th for Geordie Fikes, 7th for Bobby Charles. Then it's Elvis Rankin in 8th. Got Robbie Unser as a spotter today. And then it's Lewis Loper in 28th place overall. And then at the back of the grid, towards the back of the grid, it's Chris Torman, Matt Smith, Lyndon McMurphy, Derek Holland, John Allen at the back there in the Mazda. We'll see if he can use the strategy to get himself further forward. He usually does. And then Edgar Sanchinelli and Mike Key right at the back in 35th place, just 11 seconds off the pace there as the field now goes under the oval, and we get set to get underway. The last time I did a broadcast here for this series, we had a monumental pile-up at the start and a safety car had to be brought out. We'll see if that's going to be the case here as they go through the chicane now. A potential overtaking spot on the circuit if you time your move right. And now the field is in the hands of Aeronom as we get ready to go here at Twin Ring Motegi. Field going down the start line now. We're waiting for the green lights to get round 4 of the Ritmatech Sports Car Series underway. We get them now, and away we go for an hour of racing around the Twin Ring Motegi circuit.
Pretty even start from everybody. No one really making any moves. As always, the series driver's very, very patient. A good first couple of corners there. You can hear the MX-5s in the distance just start to light it up as well.
Here they come. It's Eric Violet on the pole in that class. He's the car on the inside in the 89, and he's going to get it and hold on to his lead going into the first corner. Not too many advances in position to get start from Elvis Rankin. You can hear them sliding contact to the back. Around goes John Allen. I just mentioned that he might have got hit anyway. A few other cars off, include Lewis Loper there in the in his car. Mike Key and Edgar Sanchinelli gaining a few places. Chris Torman might have been the other unfortunate car involved in that. He lost a few positions at the start, but everybody able to get going again. And here come the Mustangs through the S's.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah.
Sweeping through there. Well, no safety car even for that incident, so, but Yeah, a bit of a shame to have the MX-5 field split apart a little bit there.
Front three already starting to make a little bit of a gap with Rob Hartley and Mike Dam in tow behind Aeronom as we go into the hairpin onto the back straight, which is the start-finish line for one of the other layouts that we've got here around Twin Ring Motegi. Now we plunge down the back straight.
Forget how many layouts they've got actually around this circuit, isn't there? There's quite a few that you do.
Yeah, they've got the full, they've got the oval, and then they've got two other layouts as well, the east and the west, I believe. There goes the east circuit off where the cones were there to the right as we go into the final corner now. It's going to be Aeronom that leads the way at the end of the opening lap. Robert Hartley is giving him cause for concern though as we come across the timing line to complete the opening lap. Got an hour of course to go with this, and we'll keep you updated with how the strategies are going to play out over the course of the race, even though we are in dawn conditions here. As you can see, the power of the floodlights here. As it's Japan, the temperature is still going to be pretty much on the warm side. So going into turn 2, Hartley giving him quite a decent run here as the timing tower comes up at the end of the opening lap.
Yeah, nice, good start for the Mustangs. All pretty, like you say, all pretty close, but just a couple of little individual backs there. Pilot comes across as well. So MX-5 finishing their first laps. Not many moving fingers in that first lap, as you can see. They've got down 2, Ruddock up 2. So that's really it. Everyone else just the one spot. So no massive changes there. That's for sure.
Obviously, a trait of this, the Mazdas, is that they all will be pretty close for the duration of this. Saw quite a lot of that at Sebring, and you can see already Eric Violet coming under some pressure from Travis Schwenke. Schwenke's going to go up the inside here into the right-hander as we go over the go under the banking here. Watch out for Jim List as well. He's gained 2 places since the start of the race, as you can see, and he's almost applying pressure down Eric Violet as well. D2D Motorsports Gold here. Let's go on board with him as well as we go into the right-hander.
Great little section of circuit. The camber on the inside there, you just have to nick it right so that it pulls the car around that corner there. Car always wants to understeer, and back always gets light going into this corner as well, the rear end. So you've got to be just a little careful. Again, it's just subtle gradients on the circuit. Cambers here and there that make it quite tricky. You just really have to know exactly where to push and what to expect the car to do.
We go onto the front straight, onto the back straight again. You can see, as Alex was mentioning, the camber and come at some of the corners. That's why it's almost perfect for the motorbike racing around here. And these Mazdas.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they go here actually. This must be a fantastic circuit on a bike. And actually, I bet the racing is epic as well.
Well, the MotoGP series used to go to Suzuka until it got dropped off the calendar on safety grounds. The death of a rider there in 2003 was the final straw for the series, really, and they've been coming here ever since. And
who's that in the background? Someone.
That was Lyndall McMurphy, I believe.
Yeah.
In the Catspire Motorsports, got to have cat-like reactions to keep that one out of the wall as he ran very wide there. Obviously, it doesn't rain on iRacing, but not too much grip on the grass through the final corner, and now he's feeling the heat from Chris Torman in the CT racing car in this battle over 11th in class.
I sense it's only a matter of time before we get some sort of rain and things like that. It's almost there now. Nice throw in a nice wet race. What we need.
Be the icing on the cake, really, wouldn't it?
I will, yeah. I mean, we've got dynamic this and that and everything now. Let's get some of that on there. I mean, I know people will shout at me and go, no, we need better tyre model. And I do agree with you.
Where does a new Silverstone as well. It's all on the list. It's all about the priorities as Aeronom's priority. Yeah.
Isn't that Silverstone's the next road track, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Did they say that? I'm sure they stated that, yeah.
Yeah, Sam Fitzpatrick was telling me, much to my relief. Kevin Ford is off the circuit, and he's gone off at the run into the penultimate corner as he gets passed by Tyler Schiffler there. I think that's that might be the only position he lost as a result of that. We'll have a look at a replay to see what happened to the veteran of this series in the Flintstone racing car. Here he is, going into
the... Tell me before before the night that he hadn't been able to do any practice at all for this one, so he's just sort of jumped in and gone. So impressive to get where he did in Q. But yeah, I'm not surprised we've seen a couple. We'll see. Well, we just saw a little mistake there, but I dare say there may be a few more by the time the night's out. Hopefully he can get up to speed and find a rhythm pretty quickly.
Well, for a man who hasn't had much practice at this circuit, he did a good job in qualifying to get it in P5. We haven't been to this track since season 10, which, in the context of how long a Ritmatech Sports Car Series season usually is, they're about 12 weeks each. So we won back about 36 weeks. We're talking about nearly just under a year ago. So plenty of time has gone past since then, and plenty of tracks and plenty of races have taken place since then, and you can understand if something has dropped out of the memory bank somewhere. And there you go, Kevin Ford running a bit wide, going for the penultimate corner, and now he's having to withstand some of the pressure from Steve Thomas here in the early going in the Driftline racing car, that familiar purple, grey, red and white livery. Back to the Mazdas, in fact, because it is pretty close between Travis Schwenke and Jim Liss. Eric Violet hasn't been able to recoup any of those positions that he lost in the early going, but he has kept them within striking distance. Looking at how the strategy is going to unfold for this one, as I open the document, we've got likely going to see the Mazdas taking at least 2, if not 4 tyres on their first stop. We should make an interesting strategy in the Mazda class. They will take full fuel. Just looking when we're going to be expecting to see them come into the pits, they'll probably be coming in about 43 to 46 minutes into the race. So we're going to be seeing them in pretty much towards the back end of this one, which is something that we usually see. But yeah, the thing I'm mainly interested on is even though they'll be taking full fuel, it's going to be whether they take 2 or 4 tyres. Could be all about that track position, Alex, when we get to the back end of it.
And I'll tell you, if it was the Mustang, I'd be like, you have to take 2 because track position is so important around here. But the little MX-5s, I still feel, as Peyton's going to prove my point here, you can make the moves in the MX-5. Peyton through and up and into 4th place, good little move. And now Beasley coming under pressure from Geordie Fike behind him. But does manage to hold on to that one.
Lower line, they go again. And track position was key for many of the drivers in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. In fact, the crash that took place in that even made national news here in the UK. It was one of the top few things on the BBC Sport website for most of the day, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, even the non-motorsport fans love a good crash. Something that we probably won't be seeing here in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series. I think many of the drivers in the NASCAR last night lost their heads by about lap 180. Here is John Allen, who was involved in a crash at the start of the race. He's now trying to get some of these positions back. He's trying to start with getting past Matt Smith and Elvis Rankin, going into the hairpin here. Rankin in the 18 car, just in front of Matt Smith. We mentioned earlier that he's got Robbie Hunt acting as a spotter for Rankin. Former Indy Racing League driver. 9-time winner of the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. This is definitely not a hill climb, Alex, but there's definitely some elevation in here. Don't know whether that's helps get passed on in terms of any influence, but yeah, still pretty cool to have one of the Unser family acting as a spotter for, or serving as a spotter for Elvis here today.
Yeah, indeed, awesome stuff and wealth of knowledge and experience. Hopefully, we see that being passed on, and Rankin doesn't make any rash calls out there. Got, like I say, a long race, and he's still right there. He's still in sort of a shout and reaching distance of the guys at the front. So we'll see how he progresses. Interesting to see, actually, because obviously a new driver to the series, really, for us. always good to watch progress of some of the new guys after a season or two, see how they fare.
Indeed, yeah. Good start in terms of how many positions he's gained. Rankin is right where he started. Matt Smith behind us gained 2. John Allen, as he slides his way through the final corner there, has gained 4 spots. So despite what happened at the beginning, he's still gaining quite a few positions. As you can see, that Trent Brown has come into the pits with a lot of damage. Don't know whether it's meant that he's towed back to the pits, but we'll get a replay nonetheless to see what's transpired here to the man from Michigan. Oh, well, nothing happening there, but there was a car that was going very deep. Oh dear, he spun on the exit, and he's going to hit the Onco barrier as well, which can cause a lot more damage than, even though that looks pretty harmless, it has given him quite a bit to worry about there, and I wonder if he may have a few.
Welcome back, iRacers, to BSR Radical Thursday. Lee Thompson and Alex Simpson here, ready to bring you round 2, or race 2 rather. We've got our reverse grid to look forward to as well, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the guys get themselves sorted and back into like a pace order, if you like, as we go through the race. So it was indeed Cole Hardy that takes that pole position then with the reverse grid from race 1. Paul Denton in second. Grid's getting ready already. I'm going to shut up. I can hear the revs getting there. Cole Hardy then on the inside for turn 1. Paul Denton alongside in turn P2. Paul Denton, good start. Bad start from Alan McCain, I think, in 4th. Cole Hardy looks like he's got that position secured into turn 1. How is that mid-corner going to go for both of them? Steve Hefford just lurking there in 3rd. Denton very, very wide off the circuit. Hefford through into 2nd. Going to get a good run on Hardy as well, but he's going to be on the outside now into turn 2. Oh, Hefford gets a tag from McCain behind. Hefford just about keeps it together. That's allowing Hardy to scamper away, and it's looking very busy in the middle of the pack there.
Yeah, everybody so far through and clear. Hefford ran a little bit wide again, so like you say, that has let Hardy scamper away just a moment. But yeah, much better start in the last race. Of course, we had a few fatalities already by this stage.
I thought Denton was going to go into the back of Cooper there, but it was all good. Everybody looking pretty good through that hairpin again as well. I can see Halliburton in the background there, having gained 4 or 5 spots already from his starting position. Looking, very busy all the way through the field. Who's this coming up the inside of Richie? Eamon McCauley, was it? Looking like he's just lost a position now to Williams, I think.
Williams is flying. Who was Cole Hardy?
No, Cole Hardy, okay, my bad. Yeah, Cole Hardy from the lead then, loses it somehow. It must be an entry into the corner, how early he has ended up on the grass. So let's have a look then as we see the replay. Under braking now, just the rear's locked up for him. As soon as he hits the brake, rear's locked up. He tried his best to correct it, and it just ended up snapping away. Lucky to keep it at wall. Waited patiently for the field to go by as well. So he is at the very back of the field there, from first to last. Steve now coming, Alex, down towards Sunset Bend, just trying to go in, turning early. Alan McCain, way off. Is he going to come across the guys on the inside? Paul Denton just about avoids him. Fraser Williamson in amongst there as well. Alan McCain completely missed the corner.
Yeah, but somehow they all survived. Look at that in the background. That is ridiculously close. That's 4 cars separated by
Halliburton in there as well. Kane Halliburton needs to survive to maximise his points all, as we were saying earlier on. He slots in just behind McCauley there. And gains 1 place, I think. How aggressive is Fitzpatrick going to be behind? Okay, got the braking done nice and safely. Looks clean from all of them there. Looks busy just up in front of him as well. Here we are back with Craig Williams, with Luke Cooper. I think they were just alongside, or perhaps it was Lane O'Connor just behind it. It was alongside a second ago. Paul Denton up ahead looking to make a move. They're going to go 3 wide almost into that hairpin, Alex. Steve Hefford, just about got out of it. Denton backs up as well, and that tags the Craig setup shot car behind Williams, maybe. Just a little bit of accordion effect there into the hairpin.
You're right, it was Williams as well. I mean, he's up 8 spots. He was up 8 spots by the end of the first lap, so impressive. He's really close to this little pack and cluster. And I did say he was the next quickest car
spin
out there. That is
Paul Denton.
Yeah, Paul Denton.
He tagged the wall as well, I think. We'll see how much damage he suffers. Up the front, McCain somehow ended up in the lead, battling alongside Fraser Williamson. Williamson drives past him on that little quick, almost non-existent corner there. And yeah, Williamson takes the lead from McCain. Hefford all of a sudden is right back, battling for that second after he was getting involved in some instance just a moment ago as well.
Go on, Willow.
Frantic start to race. Yeah.
Oh no! Look at that's Kane, isn't it? Was that Kane? Not the hard hit, but he did get involved in that. I think that was Macaulay was the major. But yeah, Kane Halliburton involved in that as well. Let's take a little look at that back on a replay. This is just what you can get. The faster drivers coming through the inside and then just tag the rear and send him around. Yeah.
Yeah, so Macaulay missed the apex, didn't he? And it really looked like Halliburton wasn't necessarily going for the move.
Yeah.
He kind of committed to his apex speed. And there wasn't really anything else he could do. Paul Crabb is that in the background. How does he keep out of the wall? He keeps it off the track as well. Oh, but we're just seeing cars throwing it off the road, left to right and centre, as they're struggling to keep those rears under control. But another car that's somehow wall to wall. Fraser Williamson,
send it. That's what Crab was thinking there. But yeah, then he realised there, actually, you know what, I can't take this corner flat out after all. So yeah, major moment. So, and that was McCain overcooking it into the hairpin. And Hefford right on his coattails.
Yeah, and that's allowed Williams and Cooper to get right involved in this battle as well. Hefford's going to have a look on the inside of McCain, I think, just about keeps his nose out of it. Williams a little bit wide because of Hefford's position. Cooper might get a little bit of a sniff at Williams, but there's not really an opportunity to make a move into the next corner. Oh, Cooper, I thought was going in the back of Williams there, onto the grass, loses 2 spots. Fitzpatrick going to drive past him as well, just about, I think. So, yeah, nearly running into the back there of Williams. And here comes Hefford then looking to make a move on McCain through this back section. Not quite. Again, got his nose in as they head now on to the back straight. Oh, Williams going to take Hefford's corner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Williams did his best to get out of it and just lost control as a result. He tried to save Hefford and yeah, had his own little loss.
Well, he was up 10 spots until that point. So yeah, not so much now. That's for sure. So yeah, unfortunate. That's a couple of times we've seen on that little bit of track there, drivers just a little bit quicker, just sort of going in and just not perhaps anticipating the speed of the car ahead of them, and it's affected them big time. You know, those are the drivers that actually have come out far worse, as we see this battle as well. That is Halliburton just flying up the inside of Cooper, absolutely sending one up the inside, and yeah, his car just stuck like a treat. Looked like it was an F1 car compared to a Radical, as the kind of speed that he took into that corner there compared to Cooper. So yeah, impressive.
You can already see he's breaking away and he's almost caught onto the back of Sam Fitzpatrick now, just on those last couple of corners. So we were talking about how quickly Halliburton could get through the field, and as you quite rightly pointed, it was an opportunity for one of the Craig setup shop cars to maybe try and break away early and get far enough ahead, and that's certainly what Williamson's trying to do. 4 seconds down the road from second place. Yeah, he needs to keep that foot down if he wants a chance at the win, because Halliburton is going to get there, and it's just how far down the road Williamson's broken away.
I'm just getting the live timing link, as yeah, that's something we don't actually have in the stream elements, is it? But I'll send it over anyway, as we are monitoring. So there goes some live timing. Great little battle. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Once again, Lee, we said at the start we felt like we were going to have some good racing, and we haven't been disappointed at all.
No, absolutely. Great battles. Cracking job over the last couple of weeks to keep us entertained with this small field size. Halliburton coming on to the back of Fitzpatrick now. Is he going to look for a move into Sunset Bend? Hefford making a move on McCain just ahead. Gets that position. Hefford up into 2nd. McCain down to 3rd. We can hear tyres protesting as I go through that section. Halliburton still in 6th, but right in the draft of O'Connor ahead. Halliburton going to have the inside on Fitzpatrick, I think. There he goes. Halliburton gets two positions.
He through that corner. It's ridiculous.
It looked like LMP1 and LMP2 cars, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just
really
disappearing down the road. So Halliburton from 6th to 4th in one move. Fitzpatrick slots in behind, gets the position. Oh, Cooper. Fitzpatrick going up the inside of Halliburton. Halliburton gives him the space. Knew he was coming just about. They both survive. Fitzpatrick hangs near. Fitzpatrick, you know, it's obviously close championship challenger for Halliburton. He wants to try and stay on the coattails of Halliburton and try and follow him through. How do they do on the braking zone? Halliburton moves out for a better view into the corner. Almost gets his nose up alongside Hefford mid-corner as well there. But yeah, we've got what? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 cars in this little train here. All backed up, you might say, by by Kane, who McCain got back ahead of Hefford at that section somehow.
Yeah. Just so
Hefford outbrakes himself.
Deep. Yeah, very deep. Just mistakes. Oh,
Halliburton into the wall!
Well, that's what
boy.
Fitzpatrick wanted, that's for sure. And he actually
Fitzpatrick going for Hefford as well.
Hefford, yeah. So
Fitzpatrick up into 3rd. So I looked away for a second. Was that a tag into Halliburton, or did
I don't know.
We
do need to look at that one back. I think to see exactly what happened there.
So here's the previous section. Then, as they come in, Halliburton trying to get up the inside. He just lost it himself. He was just trying to get the drive up the inside of Hefford, wasn't he?
There we go.
And just couldn't keep the rear under control. Yeah, he took it's a little bit of curb. Yeah,
up there and just upset the car, didn't it? Tell you what, he got that recovered pretty quickly, but the car
big damage.
Took the brunt of it.
Oh boy, missed opportunity there for Kane Halliburton, but it's frantic trying to get through the field. Fitzpatrick now up into 2nd. He's got ahead of McCain as we've been away. McCain not giving up on it, trying to come back. Hefford's coming quickly in the slipstream as well. Here we go into turn 1. Fitzpatrick on the inside, McCain on the outside. Pretty good line from McCain. Hefford in the wall.
Yeah, snap, death wiggle, and into the wall.
Vicious snap. Yeah, absolutely.
You're not saving that, no matter who you are, I tell you. Not going to happen.
Hefford is looking pretty strong so far in the start of that race. That was unfortunate for Hefford there.
If we can get just a breathe-in second for a moment, I will show you the overtake of Fitzpatrick on McCain, because I have got it spooled up and
back
ready.
Before you go away, Alex. So McCain up the inside of Fitzpatrick into the breaker zone. He's sending it there as well. Good driving from both of them. McCain did not outbrake himself, kept line. Fitzpatrick gave him the space and has to settle back to 3rd position.
Just leave that replay ready. Get up. At some point we're going to get a little moment, but yeah, it's less important now because of course McCain has got himself back in front.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job. It looked like earlier on that McCain was just backing the cars behind up into each other, but he's able to come back each time and is getting that 2nd place back every time it's lost. During all this, of course, that's allowing Williamson to disappear off down the road. He's, of course, not got Kane Halliburton to worry about anymore, but he is nearly 9 seconds down the road. Fitzpatrick comes back across onto McCain, sorry. Not quite enough. He took a lot of curb on the inside of that little kink, Alex. Slowdown penalty through there?
I don't think so. I think you're all right there. Yeah, I think you'll get an off track, but I don't think you'll actually get a slowdown there. Some timing change on a bit further back. Oh, that's because we've got a driver around, and Kip Stevens joins us for this race. I didn't even notice that Kip joined. So, but yeah, and around, and well, Kip, you joined the club because a lot of people have been around on that corner in these last couple of races, and we rejoin almost 3 wide.
Ooh. So yeah, we've got Mayers, O'Connor, Williams all lining up alongside each other into turn 1. Fitzpatrick and McCain as well into turn 1. Looks like he's got that position made. Fitzpatrick up into 2nd, and O'Connor back there splitting the setup shop cars. Ooh, that's Williams going a little bit deep. I thought under braking initially, but all sorts itself out. Yeah, we're just seeing changes of position left, right, and centre.
Yeah, great little bit of battling out there right now. It's yeah, Stevens into the pit lane, so after that contact with the wall, who's that in the background lying out? That is Mares, I think, isn't it? Yeah, up the inside, good on the brakes as well. Get it stopped nicely. A poor exit for Cooper, sorry. Yeah, drops him back. So it wasn't Cooper, was it? It was the XVR corner of Lane O'Connor.
Yeah.
Green and white, very similar. That's my excuse.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've got little groupings of similar cars all running together. The Crazy Top Shot cars looking like they're battling there as well, just about surviving theirs. And Williams, I thought Williams was going to make a dive up the inside there, but not this time by. From second to eighth, we've got 5-second gap. Nice little, no, less than that, sorry. Just over 1 second gap between second to eighth. So cracking string of cars here battling away. Fitzpatrick's still at the lead of it, of the group that is. Of course, Williamson is still ahead. McCain in third, Cooper fourth, Mayers fifth, Williams sixth. And there we see Williamson coming on to the start of a lap 8, all on his own. How is his lap time compared to the others? Quickest lap is nearly a second faster than anyone else. There's only a couple of cars with a 56 lap, and he's got a 1 minute 56.07. So Williamson looking very, very strong. Incidentally, Kane Halliburton's fastest lap before he retired was almost exactly the same, 56.12. Obviously, he had traffic the whole time. All going to be very, very close into turn 2 again there, but they all survive. McCain still holding on to that third place. It looked like Cooper and Williams were going to come to blows as they went through that section as well, but they all survived. See cars struggling with that traction every single time off those slow corners, twitching away.
Gotta love that. So that's what you want to watch, isn't it? You know, drivers pushing to the absolute max, seeing the car all twitchy. Oh, watch their teammates. That concertina effect. Yeah, just.
And that started like 4 cars further up, didn't it? Exactly. And O'Connor was the one that made contact. I think he got away with it. It was as slight as the touches, but yeah, you could see that coming a long way. Just the one car outbreak stuff. And up ahead, it's Williams and Cooper side by side. Cooper hanging on, but he's going to have the outside line now for the next sequence of corners. So if Williams can hang on in there, he should have this position sealed, and he does. Cooper has to slot in behind.
Just 5 minutes to go. Go on, guys, keep this up, keep this momentum and pace up, because it's been absolutely phenomenal in this one. Little group did separate apart when they almost come to blows. So I don't think their battle is finished for any of the podium spots, really. Second or third. There, that Fraser, of course, out front doing his thing.
Okay, so it looks like things have calmed down just for a second to give the guys a chance to have a little bit of a breather. But I bet once we come onto the pit straight, we're going to see some movement again as Craig sets up shot car of Williams loses it mid-corner. Can everyone get past him? They can. He does well, sits there, doesn't move. Just struggled on those bumps and nearly held it.
That is the second time he's worked his way up into the field and through and dropped back down again. And in fact, it's just not his race.
Yeah, and you can see that he's got fastest lap of the race. In fact, I missed that when I was talking about lap time before. 55.81 for Williams, fastest car out there. And as you say, just more on the limit perhaps than the other guys are prepared to do.
All evens itself out, you know. If you're driving it that far on the edge and the car bites, snaps you every 6 or 7 laps, you know, then it's worth just going a bit slower, isn't it? It's the old, you know, tortoise and hare situation, isn't it? You know? Slow and steady can sometimes win the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're certainly seeing that from, say, the top, you know, 5, well, second to sort of 5th. You know, we've not really seen errors from these guys. They're able to keep it consistent and keep the car on track as the Crazy setup shot car almost goes into the back of the Apex Academy car. Back at the front of the field, Williamson nearly 12 seconds down the road. Sam Fitzpatrick in second, Alan McCain still in third. Again, I felt like maybe at the beginning McCain was going to drop back, but he was breaking away from 4th, 5th and 6th behind Mayers, Cooper and McRitchie. That leaves Lane O'Connor in 7th, Paul Cradden 8th, Craig Williams trying to recover again as we talked about in 9th, and Carl Hardy rounding out the top 10.
We're looking at basically a full reverse grid in Steve Herbert got himself back out on track. He has, so he might just be able to get that reverse grid pole. Try and bounce back from this race. Final race of the day, of course, coming up after we have a little break. Reverse grid spin wheel and all that goodness. So if you are watching right now and the race comes to an end, don't go anywhere. We've got another one for you to enjoy.
Yeah, Luke Cooper struggling through these last couple of corners, and we've seen McRitchie all over the back of him, but running a little bit deep mid-corner, gets away with it. But yeah, Luke Cooper struggled through Sunset Bend to hit that massive bump that you talked about earlier on, but somehow kept it all pointing forward. Yeah, McRitchie and Cooper's looking like... Oh, there we go. He was out on the grass. Mayers was out on the grass. Loses 2 spots. Cooper and McRitchie both gain 1. So that's Cooper up into 4th, McRitchie up to 5th.
There's O'Connor to the outside.
Yeah, he's trying. Can he get it stopped on the brakes? O'Connor comes across him,
maybe not.
wide. And he's going to struggle to get on the power. Yeah, Mayers drives straight past. Yeah, there's a good go from O'Connor there. Just unfortunate, really, that you've then got that slight kink on exits. If you run a little bit deep in the hairpin, then, especially in these cars, you're really going to struggle in traction.
Paul Crabb has jumped to the pits. What was that all about? Well, that's the aftermath of it. Let's see if we can go back just a little bit further and see exactly what happened. But whatever it has, I think it's ended his day. Well, certainly this race. Definitely.
Yeah, got away from him, sort of entry to mid-corner. And
absolutely smashed the rear right there as well.
It's a bit unlucky the wall comes out quite so far there. He almost got away with it. But as I say, just tagged the end of the wall there. Cooper McRitchie still looking pretty close. McRitchie got a good run off that previous corner there. He's going to make a move into Sunset Bend up the inside. How aggressive is Cooper going to be on the brakes? Tries to hang in there, but runs too deep, just like he did in the previous corner, and has to settle for that 5th position. McRitchie up to 4th. One more lap.
Yeah, a few seconds left. Time on screen. These guys really look like the only ones that were going to sort of exchange position, but a good corner for McRitchie there, giving the breathing room that perhaps he wanted for the rest of the lap. Great shot as they swing through that sort of end of the first sector complex. Real great area to find time and lose time, to be fair, as well. So just nailing that. There's a good 4/10 available there, just from being absolutely on the right line and pushing just the right amount. Studied a lot of data for that one section of this circuit to try and get it right against some of my rivals, and pulling the air out. Who's slow? Is that back marker? I think it might be.
Yeah, so Steve Hefford, that is losing another lap then, so he's not going to be eligible, I guess, for the full reverse grid when you come to the wheel later on. So such a technical section of the circuit, as you said, Alex, and you can really see the ebb and flow of the different drivers through the different sections on this track. So Fraser Williamson then is going to be coming across the line pretty shortly, I would imagine, to finish up the race. Here he comes in towards Sunset Bend. Not a car in view, look. Even further down the road in race 1 than Halliburton was in race 2, as we see Fitzpatrick in the background just for a moment. Yeah, Fraser Williamson then scampered away very, very early on and just never looked back. Seemed to not put a foot wrong. His last lap, in fact, was only a couple of tenths off his best, so he's been on it the whole way through. Fraser Williamson takes the win for race 2. How's Sam Fitzpatrick getting on as he comes through a exit Sunset Bend? There he is into P2 as well. Alan McCain then should be hanging on to that 3rd position, but he's got James McRitchie very close behind him right at the very end. But Alan McCain keeps that 3rd place. Came under massive pressure somehow at the last second. That was our podium result. Williamson, Fitzpatrick, McCain.
Just waiting for the final few people to head down. Now, this is something that obviously has cropped up. I'm trying to find the links to the championship standings, Lee. Just can't find them.
I've not got that information, I'm afraid.
So last week, obviously, Sam was kind enough to update us. But yeah, I'm on the the group, and there's normally a sticky post with links to the tables and things like that, but it seems to have either been removed from the sticky, and yeah, unfortunately we haven't been fed the updated point situation. So sorry, Kane, I'm not able to give you a direct answer to that. Hopefully someone can link me to the table and I will give you the information you were after, but of course it will be minus the points tonight. Right, final race results are in.
So, as we saw him, Fraser Williamson taking a very comfortable and collected win for race 2, 13.7 seconds down the road from Sam Fitzpatrick in second. Big, strong points for Fitzpatrick there in his battle for the championship, with Kane Halliburton crashing out early on. Alan McCain in third with James McRitchie in fourth. Luke Cooper in fifth with Jamie Mayers in sixth. Lane O'Connor in seventh with Craig Williams in eighth. Carl Hardy ninth with Lorne Murray taking the final 10th position. Paul Denton in 11th, one lap down, so he'll be eligible for the reverse grid. And then nobody else will be. Paul Crabb in 12th, Steve Hefford 13th, Kip Stevens 14th, Kane Halliburton 15th, and Eamon McCauley in 16th.
I've got the points.
Excellent. So
let's just see what the situation is at the moment. So this is driver standings as of, well, we're so after 30 races. So this is before the start of tonight. So Sam Fitzpatrick, this also doesn't include the drops at the moment. Obviously, drops need to be taken into consideration. So Sam was leading by 70 points from Nicole Foggy. Then Kane Halliburton in third. So was 217 points behind. So how the drops penned in, that will be interesting to see.
And we know obviously Foggy is going to take a big drop with tonight, let alone any others with 0 points scored. So that's going to affect him worse.
Yep, definitely. So in terms of teams, it's Craig Sapshop leading the way. I'm not surprised they've got half the grid. Of course, it is only the top few. It's only the top few that do it. But it actually is only 107 points difference there, so not actually that far off. So, but yeah. So it looks pretty close. Officially, there is an AM and a Pro championship, but I think with the way drivers have sort of separated out from the series at the start, is mainly just into the one focus now. So, but yeah, still pretty close at the championship. I think with the drops, it's going to be interesting. It'd be good to see if we can get your own onto the points and see what's going on. Get that drop week added, especially as we take the run up into the final round of tonight, but also obviously next week is the final round of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. The end of the championship is certainly coming very, very quickly as we get towards the end of the standard iRacing season that this series also follows. Right, so let's have a look at the wheel then and see who's going to be lining up in pole position for the reverse grid in race 3.
Cool. I was getting ready with the rest of the Ripmatech race. So yeah, spin my wheel first. Here we go. Pretty sure it's just going to be what we're going to get is full. Unless we get the full -5. Do you know what? 15th again.
Cool. So as you said, then it's only going to go back to, what I said, 11th position, I believe it was, wasn't it? So Paul Denton takes the pole position spot. It should be Lorne Murray lining up alongside him in second. Right, so we should be back shortly then for race 3. Again, if you didn't get a chance on the last break, go and like us on Facebook at Apex Racing TV and subscribe for YouTube. And if you want to follow on Twitch, then you can also follow us on there. All our tags are just Apex Racing TV, all one word. So we should be back shortly. And again, as Alex said, we'll leave you with some Ripmatech footage whilst we're away.
On their final lap of the race here at Twinry and Motegi. Aeronom has a 1 second advantage over Mike Dam, and we're going to have to wait and see whether Dam can close that down at all, or if Aeronom is going to have a problem between now and we get back round to the checkered flag.
Yeah, if anything happens now, it's going to be it's going to happen suddenly. But from what it's looking like, it looks like right now Nom's got feeling he's got enough gas in the tank. He's still putting in some decent speed, but it's going to be a real big question mark here to see what happens.
Holding on board with Aeronom. Qualified well on the pole. Had to deal with a lot of pressure from Rob Hartley early on. He got jumped by Hartley in the first round in the round of stops. And then after that he was able to get the lead back, and just when it looked like that Hartley was going to mount a late race charge, Hartley has to dive for the pits to get some fuel on at the end as they lap into it. Murphy is coming to the pits as well with a few laps to go. He was running in 4th in class Could that be a late race pit stop for fuel? Either way.
Looks like it.
What a shame for him. Meanwhile, into the penultimate corner comes Aeronom. Did we expect anything less? He won at Daytona. He won at Sebring. He won at Sonoma. And he's going to win here at Twin Ring Motegi. Through the final corner. Checker flag is at the ready. Round 4 of the Ritmatech Sports Car Series goes to Aeronom. Team Bushfink does it again. Mike Dam in second, and we await Pasi Iannucci to come home in third position. Travis Schwenke in the Mazdas is on his way to what looks set to be a class victory for him as Iannucci comes through the final corner now. Clint Vigas couldn't do anything about him in the end. The Meh Motorsports car is going to finish in fourth. Rob Hartley in the end, 9/10 of a second away from Clint Vigas in the end. He was putting in the laps there at the end. He did 2:06.2, which is a second quicker than Vigas on that last lap. He was definitely on it. Steve Thomas finishes 7th. Then it's going to be Cameron Bidwell heading home. Brandon Whitworth just. And here comes Travis Schwenke now. Tyler, he's done pretty well after the pit stops took place. He didn't really look like he was going to get challenged, and he's going to come through the final corner now and take the checker flag to win his class.
Yeah, great run by Travis Schwenke, and he's gonna win this by almost 6 seconds over Jim Liss. So definitely a good runaway there for Travis Schwenke. He's definitely gonna be happy with that. And it looks like David Patton's gonna walk away with third, as here comes Chris Thorman as well. So here's David Patton. He's still got a ways to
Is that a fuel?
Go.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
he's coasting.
Oh, he is. He's still got 15 seconds left. Oh, he's got enough time.
Well, where is Thorman?
Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh, wait a minute, Thorman's coming through the. Oh, this is gonna be close.
He's trying to rinse some dregs into it. He gets drive. Oh, he's got.
Yeah, he literally was on the clutch pedal the whole time.
And he has enough fuel to get it home. Over the line he goes and gets third place. He was probably a lot more cool in there than we were then for a second.
Absolutely. So David Patton rounds out your top 3. Then Thorman and Elvis Rankin round out your top 5. Boy, oh boy.
The top 5 for Elvis Rankin with Robbie Unser, former IndyCar driver and former Pikes Peak winner, acting as his spotter. Son of Bobby Unser, in fact. And Elvis Rankin will be hopefully pretty happy with that. We'll see if we've got any drivers waiting to talk to us afterwards, as everybody is now finished. So as they return to the pits, gather their thoughts and potentially join us for an interview, we will cut away and get the results up on the screen. In the GS class then, race victory for Aeronom, 9/10 of a second ahead of Mike Dam in the end. Pasi Iannucci finishing in third, with Clint Vigas 4th, Rob Hartley completing the top 5. 6th for Tyler Schiffler, 7th for Steve Thomas, 8th for Cameron Bidwell, Brandon Whitworth in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Kevin Ford in the end. Has he lost a few places towards the end there, actually? Might have done. Bidwell and Whitworth both passed him just before the checkered flag. So that might be worth a replay before the end, before we go off there. Leon Wright finishes in 11th, Russ Ruddock in 12th, Mike Monaghan finishing in 13th place, then Steve Daniel, Matt Catila, then Jeff Jacobs, Raymond Bader 7 laps down in the end, Paul Gibson 15 laps down, and Trent Brown 25 laps down. Before we go on to the STs, we will see what happens to Kevin Ford here. This could be interesting. This is Bidwell and Whitworth. They're about to come up on Kevin Ford here, who, well, is he coasting? Was the car damaged? Not too sure. You can see the fuel lights on, just from
I'm just listening in. The race controls just informing drivers of any drivers that ran out of fuel. Sounds like Kevin Ford might have lost connection on that last lap.
Let's have a look here. Well, when we saw him later on, oh dear. Oh well. you can see that he lost the connection because he blinked in and out. And
he did. I'm just looking at the chat to see if anything popped up. He fell through. It says here that he received throughput, so he dropped connection on the last lap.
And you can see he re-emerged again, but this time he'd hit the wall and he picks up the damage, and that's what led to him losing those positions late on. So poor Kevin Ford, he dropped from, well, I'd say 5th down to about, yeah, 10th in the end. I say about 5th, about 8th down to 10th. So late drama there. Let's bring up the results from the STs, the Mazda MX-5 class. A win for Mike Dam there. That is not, they're not Mazda drivers. It is Travis Schwenke that wins, with Jim List in 2nd, then Dave Payton, then Chris Torman, Elvis Rankin there finishing in 5th, Bobby Charles 6th, Derek Holland, then Lewis Loper, John Allen in the end 2 laps down, then Denzel McMurphy, Geordie Fike, Edgar Sancinelli, Mike Key, Jacob Beasley, Matt Smith.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to BSR Radical Thursday, race 3 of the evening here from the historic Sebring International Circuit. Lee Thompson and Alex Simpson bring you the coverage as normal. We've got just a couple of minutes to go until the guys' little warm-up session ends and we get into the start of race 3. Again, it's going to be an interesting reverse grid that we're going to see in this race. Alex, Paul Denton and Lorne Murray, I think it was 1 and 2. Sorry, Cole Hardy and Lorne Murray, I believe. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. Well, once we get the official grid, we'll know for sure. It's still warm-up timings, but yeah, I think you're right. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see Kane come through again, see what Craig could do as well, because it didn't go right for him. Those guys had the pace in the last one, definitely make it to the front, but Fraser was the one that, like I said, he had great pace, but not quite as fast as those guys, but didn't make any mistakes and got through the traffic nice and clean in the early phase of the race and was able just to push on. So yeah, interesting to see how those three, because they're all going to be on a very similar part of the track at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very busy at the start for those guys. They try and push through. It'd be interesting to see how Halliburton goes about getting through the field this time. Does he go more cautious in his mind? Does he go more aggressive? It looked like he was being fairly firm with it, but I think he knew that Williamson was getting away at the front and he had to just get on with it and not spend too long about it. So what options has he got this time? Well, we're going to find out pretty soon. So Paul Denton, as we said, are lining up on P1 for this final race of the evening. Lorne Murray going to be lining up alongside him in second. Carl Hardy then in third with Craig Williams in fourth. Lane O'Connor in fifth with Jamie Mears in sixth. Luke Cooper in 7th with James McRitchie in 8th. Alan McCain in 9th with Sam Fitzpatrick in 10th. Fraser Williamson in 11th with Paul Crabb in 12th. Steve Efferden 13th with Kip Stevens back on the grid in 14th. Kane Halliburton then starts all the way down in 15th with only Eamon Macaulay lining up behind him in 16th position.
So I apologise to Lane. I don't know why the overlay does not like his name. Constantly gets hit a little bit wrong. Here we go though.
Right, so Denton then going to have the inside for turn 1. Paul Lorne Murray lying alongside him. They get away. Awful start from Carl Hardy in third, but actually the second phase of it isn't so bad. Denton scampering away at the front. Lorne Murray getting swallowed up a little bit. It's going to be nearly 3 wide into turn 2, into turn 1 back there. But they get through. We've got a blinking car as well. That's always nervous. First corner of the first lap. There we go. Big crash. That's one of the Apex Academy cars, and a secondary crash as well. It's still going on, I think, in the background. Denton and Murray still continuing on
Kane's
first
out.
And second. I hear more contact still going as well. Yeah, Halliburton out. Hardy maybe struggling as well.
We'll have a look at that back after the end of this lap. See exactly what went on. I hate to say it, but I think Carl Hardy blinked out, reappeared right at the exit of that corner, and that's what caused that secondary crash, because suddenly he was just there, he was, and the cars just got spat everywhere. So yeah, a bit unfortunate.
When it's it'd be good to see that again a little bit later on. Paul Crabb is this on the outside with Steve Hefford, trying to have a move, and behind him Alan McCain goes very wide onto the grass. Ahead it's Lorne Murray as it's struggling as well, so cars off the track everywhere. Again, all the Craig setup cars almost going to the back of each other. Spin again up ahead. Lane O'Connor is that going backwards. Eventful start of a setup shot car there, almost nipping up the inside of Paul Crabb. So that was Jamie Mears and Hefford. Hefford or Mears, sorry. Hefford getting that position on Mears, nipping up the inside when a second ago it looked like Mears was going to be getting the position on Paul Crabb.
Right. Let me see if I can see what went on here. As we finish the first lap, there is a little bit of side-by-side battle, but if we don't look at the replay, we won't catch it at all. So this is where Luke Cooper crashed. You can see the car disappeared, but he loses it on his own. And I don't think it was the secondary car that blinked in. It was just it was already gone. Let me just double check that.
Yeah, I was trying to look for when the car blinked back. I never saw it come back. I'm sure it did, but where does it come back?
So I'm still waiting for it. This is where we're on scenic now. There it is.
Yeah, wow. Disappeared for so long. I mean, fortunate in a way, because as you said, that didn't really affect him. There was the rest of those crashes, but yeah, huge issues for Hardy there, and that causes his spin into turn 2 as well.
Yeah, I think what it was actually for Carl, because he was at the back as well, so I think he must have had one of those like little freezes that you get on the system. So didn't affect anybody else. Well, maybe it did. Maybe that was why the car jinked out in front. Don't know. It's hard to tell. It's an unfortunate situation anyway. Whatever happened, and just separate our pack a little bit.
Yeah, it's broken up into a few little groups. Paul Denton just a couple of seconds down the road in first position. Then we've got a nice little battle for second, third, fourth as Craig Williams goes very, very wide. It's going to give Fraser Williamson, race winner from race 2, a sniff up the outside. They go to side by side for that super fast couple of kinks. Who's going to be under control, under braking? Williamson through on Williams. Paul Crabb then, yeah, as I said, in fourth. Then our next little grouping is Jamie Mayers, Steve Hefford, Sam Fitzpatrick with Eamon McCauley just drifting off the back as that as well. And then our third little pack of Murray, Stevens, Cooper and McRitchie with McCain actually there as well. So yeah, we've got like 3 little groups and Paul Denton on his own in the front.
We'll look at the lap times when they come across, see exactly what's going on. I'm quite surprised Fraser got past Craig. Craig really has had the pace on them, but seems to be struggling. I don't know if he's picked up some damage in that first lap, but really not on the tail of his teammate. Under pressure from Paul Crabb. Lap times indicate Fraser absolutely the one on the money at the moment with a 156.6, 157.5 for Craig. So yeah, I'm guessing he definitely has some damage to that Radical, and he's going to struggle a little bit in this one, I feel.
Yeah, certainly tough lap that time, but it'll be interesting to see if he can recover that this time round, or as you say, whether he has actually got damage that he's struggling on with. All the cars just starting to string out just a little bit. No immediate moves looking like they're going to be happening. Steve Hefford and Sam Fitzpatrick maybe the closest little battle. Is actually Fitzpatrick just clambers up the inside of the curve of the hairpin, trying to get the drive off the corner, but it doesn't quite work out. Eamon McCauley doing a good job of staying with those two as well. Kip Stevens maybe looking to make a move on Lorne Murray, not quite this time by, but again, he's looking pretty racy and wanting to move forward as well.
Fitzpatrick, our championship leader, with fairly sizable damage on the front, but the important thing for him is he's still out there and still going. His rivals, Kane Halliburton, is out, and no sign, of course, of like Foggy and Brandon and people like that. So this is going to be a great point scoring race meeting for Sam. He just needs to make sure he brings this race home to a finish as well.
Absolutely, like I say, it's been a good first 2 races, so critical to keep that going. I see a very close fight. Yeah, here we go between the 2 Craig setup shop cars. Williamson and Williams again. Williamson still staying ahead, but Williams certainly has come back on his lap. Loses in this corner a little bit though, and Paul Crabb all of a sudden is making that a nice 3-car battle again. Let's have a look at their lap times this time by. As we said, there was a second difference last time. Not going to be on this one. Yeah, very close to 56.16, 56.12 for the 2 of them. So yeah, just a bad lap I think from Williams. He's looking much more on it again now.
Yeah, that's good. I want to see these guys actually get to pull and we have a good fight for the lead. We've had lots of battles a bit lower down, but it's always great to have a lead battle fight.
Yeah, so that looks like our main battle in the pack. Certainly the front half, back with Kip Stevens, Luke Cooper, James McRitchie, Alan McCain. They're all looking pretty close as well. Just 2 or 3 tenths between a lot of them. And here we go, Kip Stevens looking to be racing, trying to get onto the back of Lorne Murray, but maybe didn't quite keep the momentum through the long or the short little straight away. But yeah, this is the back of the field, and it's looking like a nice little race between these top 5. Alan McCain right at the back there, who we saw finishing on the podium, of course, in the last race.
As we know, he's got the pace to hold on, and he actually made some good moves, didn't he, in the last race, McCain? Absolutely. So yeah, let's expect him to move forward slowly, perhaps when it divvies up a little bit. He says he's down 4 spots at the minute. I'm not sure why that is. Whether or not he got involved in something at the start as well. Obviously, there was a lot was pretty frantic, wasn't it? So
yeah, it looks like maybe he's got damage right rear corner, isn't he? So yeah,
you
he's
can see
definitely
from
struggling.
behind. Actually, you can see from behind the damage. Yeah.
And you can see from that corner as he struggles to get to the apex as well. So yeah, McCain definitely a wounded car there as Richie and Cooper side by side as they head towards Sunset Bend and further up. Fitzpatrick and Macaulay. Actually, Macaulay looking like he's making the move on Fitzpatrick. He does, gets that position. Fitzpatrick struggling with that damage, and he's not going to score the big points that he would like to do to capitalise. But Macaulay onto the grass next to him. That's not a place you want to be without a wall lurking just a couple of feet further on.
I think the important thing for us is just to score some points in this one as well. Yes, he has got that damage. You can see it's pretty hefty. He's obviously slowing him down in a straight line, so just needs to do what he can do to make sure he gets to the checker flag with such limited cars that he's still going to score relatively well. Of course, as long as you don't finish 2 laps down. So, people might be thinking, well, surely Halliburton's going to finish in 15th anyway. But actually, he won't score any points because he's more than 2 laps down. Where the scoring system works. So, just getting those regular finish can make a big difference against a 0 point.
Alan McCain making a move on Luke Cooper then, but not quite paying off. He did look like he came quite a long way back, so that was an optimistic move and nearly pulled off, but not quite finishing it off. Kit Stevens just defending slightly from James Ritchie, but ending up making a move, in fact, on Lorne Murray. That was not planned, I don't think. Lorne Murray maybe going to lose a spot now to Ritchie as well, and he does, and Ritchie drives straight past. So, yeah, Stevens in one moment trying to defend and ends up making an exit.
Big twitch for McCain. So he's collected it back up, but yeah, huge twitch. And it's interesting at the front. Well, yeah, it is. 2 teammates absolutely nail each other. And they get a third one as well.
Oh my god.
Well done, lads. Absolutely nail it. Mr. Fitzpatrick, get your GIF work on that.
That was crazy.
Yeah. 3 for 1.
Yeah, such a bad judgment moving with the car, especially your teammate coming past there at the end. You see how much damage Williamson has got. The car was all over the place under braking. He is going to really struggle. Fitzpatrick, no! Spins mid to exit of Sunset Bend, and just up ahead, Williamson spins and instantly retires as well. No, it doesn't retire, sorry.
It's just in the pits, isn't he?
Yeah, is that what it is?
Backwards.
It went grey on my timing screen. It's confused it.
Backwards in the pits.
I think he has decided enough is enough for this race. But yeah, what a crazy couple of corners there. 3 setup shot cars all taken out. Yeah, we only saw the end of it, so let's see how it actually happened. They caught Denton very quickly. He was 2 seconds down the road last time I looked. Denton started it all off. Denton had a big oversteer moment mid-corner, missed the apex. Car behind had to slow down, and then a very unusual accordion pattern generated from there.
Yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, just absolutely just went crazy, didn't it? Oh, got 3 for 1. And then yeah, Sam had the opportunity to get a good couple of places there, and then just absolutely messed it up. Really, it's the only way to describe. Oh look, that was it. Just caught. What did I say in the last race? There's 2 big bumps on that Sunset corner. One right tight on the inside and one on the outside. You don't want to hit either of them. Yeah, Sam absolutely rogered that one. The car. Just the reversing car in the pit there. Right, back to the live.
There, so back live then. Paul Denton now has got a 3-second gap to Paul Crabb in second. He's got Eamon Macaulay 5 seconds further back. Eamon Macaulay then in third. Very close behind is Craig Williams, the first now of the Craig setup shot cars, of course, trying to take that last podium position. Isn't Ritchie in 5th, Lorne Murray 6th, Luke Cooper 7th, Alan McCain now finds himself up in 8th, Steve Evan 9th, and Sam Fitzpatrick is currently holding on to the final 10th position as Macaulay has a dive up the inside, Williams has a dive up the inside, and Macaulay hits that big bump as well. We were just seeing Macaulay's going to get a much better drive off the corner, I think, and now he's going to be inside line for turn 1.
I might even clear him in time. Not quite. Could have swept over perhaps. Around the outside goes Williams, just much more confident and committed on the kind of downforce levels that this little Radical has got than Macaulay. Can be awkward on those fast corners when you're slightly offline. You can't quite judge your turning and your braking right, and yeah, Eamon got a little wrong there, and Craig sweeped around the outside, nice and quick.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. So a nice little 2 and 4 between them there. Looked like Macaulay was going to do a good job getting that position. So yeah, just settling down now into little pairings almost of cars. So Williams and Macaulay, who we're looking at now, Murray and Cooper, McCain and Hefford, and Stevens and Fitzpatrick. So yeah, these little pairings are going to be our battles in the second half of the race, it seems. But yeah, the field has really got pretty well strung out now through these little incidents we've had through the first half of the race.
Yep, probably the closest battle on the track is these guys at the moment. McCain with his damage that he's got. Hefford's car actually looks in pretty good fettle out there, I think. So maybe can get a run on McCain at some point. Goes a little bit wide, kicks up the dirt, fairly common. As you can see, the exit there is always worn down to the bare soil rather than the grass.
Yeah, and Hefford taking a much tighter line through the very quick little kink through the back of the circuit there, but he ends up dropping a little bit on the penultimate corner and isn't going to be getting a massive run on McCain. Just up ahead is looking very, very close between Murray and Cooper, I think, as well, but not quite a position happening there. Here comes Hefford then on McCain. Does get up the inside. What a draft he got down that straight. McCain allows that position to be taken. See what kind of drive he can get off this corner. Looks pretty good, to be fair. McCain might be able to come back.
Yeah, like you say, got the draft back as well. Gap coming down under a tenth of a second up the inside. Will the damage assist or hamper him? Sorry, going into turn 1. No, it doesn't seem to be affecting his high speed turn in there. So able to get that move done again. So Hefford's going to have to find a better time to get past. Well, that's probably going to help him.
Yeah,
a little bit slow down.
Running up into the grass.
Will it be a slow down or is it just an off track there? Might be.
Yeah, I feel like he might have got away with it. Yeah. But Hefford is going to try and get that position straight back regardless. Anyway, he's going to be on the outside though as they come up to the hairpin, so it might be a little bit tricky. Can McCain get it stopped? Oh, in fact, Hefford's... Oh, McCain loses the rear in the braking. And Hefford now has got that position settled. Dick Stevens gets past McCain in the background as well.
Everyone blinked out for me there, just as he did that as well. I don't know about it. How
no, it was all good. Good. It was looking good here. So, yeah, Hefford had that overlap and then McCain, just lost the wheels in the braking. So, back at the front then, Macaulay, Williams, and Ritchie looking like they're going to make this a 3-car battle anytime soon. Eamon Macaulay done a great job. 13 positions gained from the grid, and it's not all been just handed to him. He has got a couple of positions made himself as well, but he's going to have a tough job now keeping that final podium spot from the only 2 remaining Crazy Shop cars left in the race now.
Yes, you're right. Slow and steady again for... That's not slow, is it? He's doing last time, so quickest lap 157.4, so it's second slower than our leader, but 155.3 the last time. So that's about kind of where he is on Paul Denton. But still, reasonable pace as the side-by-side, the 2 teammates once again. And through goes Craig Williams. Work his way back up. But yeah, nice steady pace, I think, for Macaulay. That's what's got him into what is the podium position right now. He's going to have a hard job to hold on to it, though, I have to say. Williams still got good pace out there. 0.3 quicker the last lap with that overtake as well.
Yeah, certainly does. And as we've seen, if you can just keep those laps going and not have any errors creeping in, then actually a circuit like this is going to make a big, big difference soon. You may well come up on top. Looking pretty close between Cooper and Murray as well. There we go, right on cue. We switch to him as they exit the hairpin. Cooper getting a reasonable drive off the corner. I don't think Murray's going to have too much of a sniff into the next little section. However, lap time of the last time by basically the same, just a tenth or so between the 2 of them the last time. So looking pretty even between 2 of them. But yeah, Cooper got the advantage for now in that 6th position.
Yeah, been a steady little race for Cooper as well. Just up 1 spot from his his reverse grid wheel spin position. So it's always and that's sometimes that's just the way. As long as you finish with a positive, we've got to take the got to take that and go, yep, the game places, that's what matters.
Absolutely. So how much of a run is Williams going to get on Macaulay as they come down the back straight now? He is closing, but it's not going to be enough, only getting it down to 3.5 tenths or so before the braking zone. But wow, what a difference in the line on entry. Macaulay does sweep across, but it just looked like they were taking different corners there from the camera angle I had. Williams, sorry, so much quicker on corner entry.
And that's the thing, I've sort of mentioned there are so many lines that you can take there, you know, and some of them you have to be a bit slower and some of you can really throw it in, so yeah, crazy. But, yeah, as they were really.
Yeah, came out pretty even.
Probably actually looking like the faster of the drivers out there of the three at the minute. Although Williams gets an absolute phenomenal drive coming off of the left-hander there. Going to be to the outside, coming into the hairpin. Macaulay doesn't, yeah, obviously got the call from the spotter. Moved across, run a bit deep. That's a really poor exit. This is going to be costly. Going to have the inside, of course, for the next hairpin. And Williams is going to have to go around the outside if he's going to make this move work. But it will be the inside for the next corner if he can at least keep the car around the outside, which is exactly what he's trying to do. Little twitch in the corner. Both drivers a little twitch. Really getting very excited in the background.
Yeah, well, that, as you say, that rear was just about hanging on by the skin of its teeth. I thought Williams was going to lose all his momentum, but as you say, Macaulay perhaps had a little bit of an issue as well. So Williams got that position done, but by no means easily. Let's see if McRitchie can follow his teammate through anytime soon as well. But yeah, Macaulay down to 4th now, Williams in 3rd. We've only got this lap and one more to go, so time is ticking away pretty quick. Paul Denton, 2.5 seconds nearly ahead of Paul Crabb now, who's in 2nd, with 10 positions gained from his starting grid. Then we've got this trio that we're looking at, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Luke Cooper then still 6th, with Will Murray 7th, Sheffield 8th, Chip Stevens 9th. As McRitchie has a little sniff from Macaulay as well. Nearly ended up going to the back of Macaulay as they all struggle over the bumps. But McRitchie could exit off the corner. He could well be using that toe of his teammate up ahead and having a drag in towards turn 1. Macaulay, good top speed though somehow with the fixed setup. He comes back in. Oh, contact! No. Macaulay's just going to be able to get it pointed straight, but McRitchie has a proper spin. Here comes Luke Cooper and Lorne Murray as well. It looks a shame. It just they're just too close to each other as the braking started, and that was it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, would go down as a bit of a racing incident.
Richie spins again.
Yeah. I think just cooked his tyres, hasn't he? Actually retired from the race now, so that's a shame.
That leaves us just with Craig Williams, lone Craig setup shot car in the race, now in a lonely 3rd position. Luke Cooper now 4th, Lorne Murray 5th, and Amy Macaulay down to 6th, but still 10 positions gained. Macaulay looking to try and come back as quickly as he can now. Almost has a little sniff on Murray, but this is the last lap for these guys. So, yeah, it's only this opportunity now for Macaulay. He may well just be able to get one more spot back.
Like on the brakes.
That
I think
was
it's a
little bit optimistic.
I still, I think it's a valid move, and yeah, perhaps Lorne didn't see him coming there, but yeah, I mean he had to obviously get his elbows out to get it done, but. Yeah.
They judged it quite well, but it was a pretty even contact then on the side. You know, in F1 they would say it's a wheel-to-wheel contact, and yeah, that was about the best outcome that they could have hoped for. Paul Denton then looking like he is going to be bringing it home for this race win, 2.5 seconds ahead of Paul Crabb. We can see just in the background there, Denton through the sunset. Then for the final time of the evening, I'm sure they'll all be glad that that's the last time they see this corner in this car with this setup. And yeah, Paul Denton then coming over the line takes the win for race 3 of the evening. Paul Crabb coming home in 2nd. Craig Williams then going to be bringing home that final podium position. And yeah, as we said, it's the lone finish for Craig's setup shot after they all had such a good race too. Well, Macaulay's still battling away with Murray. Macaulay's just about going to hang on, is he? But Lorne Murray trying to come back in. Macaulay takes 5th position. Murray has to settle for 6th.
Yeah, it was a good run from Cooper as well. Up 3 in the end, so nice and steady. Fitzpatrick come across in 7th, so again, clutch of points for him. This is exactly what he needs. Kip Stevens, obviously, with an accident on the final corner. Will McCain get him before the line? Yes, he will. Right, that is everyone across, and we can bring the final standings.
Yeah, so the end of another eventful race this evening, and as we said, Paul Denton taking the win for a race 3 over Paul Crabb in second, who we didn't really see much of. He had a fairly lonely second 2/3 of the race. I think Craig Williams finishing in third, as I said, surviving the carnage of his teammates around him. Luke Cooper then finishing in fourth, just less than a second ahead of Eamon Macaulay, who had an even closer finish with Lorne Murray, of course, less than half a tenth between the two of them. Sam Fitzpatrick in 7th with Steve Hefford in 8th. Alan McCain in 9th with Kip Stevens in 10th. And then James McRitchie and Carl Hardy finishing a lap down. Jimmy Mears and Fraser Williamson with their contact finishing 6 laps down. And Lane O'Connor and Kane Halliburton both finishing 11 laps down after lap 1 incidents. So yeah, what a cracking night of racing again, especially with the reduced field that we were looking at and the tricky circuit. I was a little bit concerned that we were going to see quite a strung out field with different drivers able to get different lap times out of it, but cracking racing pretty much from start to finish.
Yep, I'm happy to keep grid sizes small if we've got this kind of action. It's been 2 weeks of really, really great racing. So yeah, I said we'd have good racing tonight. This track just made for it, and that's exactly what we saw out there. So yeah, going to be interested to see how the championship points stack out going into the final race of the season, of course. And yeah, I know you've got perhaps your buttons at the ready, Lee. Where are we next week?
I am indeed prepared this time for a change, and next week we're going to be at Bathurst. So we've gone from one challenging circuit to another. It's again, it's going to depend a lot on the setup. I remember a few seasons ago, or probably a couple of years ago now, damn. I had great fun in the Radical in Bathurst, and just really felt like the car was hooked up and could, get the consistency and the pace out of the car. Whether the setup is going to allow that for these guys, well, it'd be interesting to find out. But for sure, it's a fun track to be driving the Radical around, and it's not going to maybe allow us the back and forth racing that we've seen here this week, but it's going to be a challenge for the guys.
Right, who have we got for a chat? Just Sam, it looks like this week. Obviously, guys, if you fancy an interview, do come in, jump into the Discord, come and say hello. We don't bite. Just ask you a couple of questions. That's all. Have a bit of laugh and a bit of banter if you fancy it. So, if you need the link, let me know. Post it in the chat for you. But we do have Mr. Sam Fitzpatrick with us.
Yes, hello.
Well, mate, I would like to say 2 good results today. You could have had so much more in that third one, but of course, nursing damage from turn 1, I feel.
Yeah, I got a big hit on turn 1 from Luke. He just had a little bit of had a spin, and then I was down. Not quite sure how much. I think it was about 0.5 to a second per lap, and just couldn't keep up with those guys. It would have been great fun actually to race against those guys because it was fantastic racing, and we were all so evenly matched today. So it would have been good fun. And then of course I managed to drop it by myself at sunset as well. I'm not sure if you saw that, but
well, yeah, we did see that, and of course, in the similar vein as to me last night, you got yourself in a really good position, just got gifted 3 places, and then.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit.
You didn't hit the wall though. You did better than me. At least you just spun it.
Yeah, I probably got a little bit overexcited about gaining a few positions. I was up in like 5th place, I think, at that point. And
it was just the bump, though. I think we looked at it back on the replay. It looked like you just caught that really nasty inside bump there at sunset.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was catching the bumps everywhere. It was just a case of not going too quick. It was really tight. I wish we were using the club circuit like the official says, because it kind of limits that a little bit. But through turn 1 and sunset, at least I found there wasn't a line to avoid the bumps. It was just a case of not allowing the rear end to slide whatsoever. Otherwise, you were bound to end up in the wall.
Lee let us know that obviously is Bathurst for the final race of the season. I did read the points out earlier on, obviously before tonight and before drops. Obviously you were sat on top of the stand-ins, and looking at who scored what tonight, I have no reason to think you won't be in the lead going into the final race of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, at Bathurst, there's no drop rounds, so every single race counts. And of course, it's Bathurst, so it could all go very southwards, very quickly. So, I think in the championship now, I don't even know, to be honest. I think I'm maybe 200 points ahead of Nicole, and then I'm not sure how far ahead I am of Kane, but probably about 200 points again. I think so. As long as I finish every race, it should be mine. But it could all go very, very badly, like I said. But I haven't retired from a race now, touching a lots of wood. That's I haven't retired.
Did you just commentate curse yourself on Apex Racing TV? We'll find out next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's the reason to tune in. But yeah, I haven't retired from race for about 6 meetings now, so hopefully it'll be 7.
Well, for your sake, I hope it is now. That's for sure.
It'll be a good video if I do crash, at least.
Well, as I said in this one, I said we've got an absolute doozy for you to edit out where the 3 setup shot people just absolutely destroy each other. So that's a great one for you to sink your teeth into.
Thanks for that.
So that was, if you want to know where that was, you should remember it quite well, because that was about 30 seconds before you crashed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember that quite well, actually, yeah.
Right, anyway, enough of the chuckling. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Thanks to Texen's Fitstone Motorsport. Really pleased that I got a new sponsor there, and certainly do check them out and check out our Facebook page as well. Thanks to Luke Cooper in particular. He did nearly wreck me in that 3rd race, but I forgive him for it. He's been a very big help so far this season, gifting me a couple of positions and basically not fighting me too hard because I'm a little bit higher in the championship. So thanks to him and thanks to all the Apex Racing Academy drivers. And also thanks to, of course, Apex Racing TV. And, of course, remember, we've got a 90-minute Sebring race on Saturday evening. Entries are still open. We've only got a couple of GTE entries, but a few DP and GT3 entries. So certainly try to sign up for that. And if you can't sign up, do certainly tune in as well. And tune in for the UAB8s as well. That'll be good fun on Saturday.
Yeah, sweet. And just to confirm, so there's only a few entries left there. So it's not that we've only just got a few entries. Yeah, we've actually got quite a packed
more
grid.
Than 5 drivers, thankfully. There's about 50, in fact, drivers. But a few more DPs and GT3s could certainly be of help.
Stuff. Right, thanks very much, mate. Well, stick around because obviously we're having a little chat in a moment. But yeah, I don't see anybody else here, Lee. So over to you, mate. Let's wrap this show up.
Yeah, and what a good show it was tonight. As I said, great job from the guys to put that on for us at the tricky circuit at Sebring. They have a lot to look forward to next week for another tricky experience at Bathurst for the final race of the season. So again, that'll be the end of our broadcast today. Go and like us on Facebook and share any posts that you see. If you are enjoying our work, subscribe on YouTube, and you can also follow on Twitch. You can watch our live streams for most series on whichever platform you prefer, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. They are mostly restreamed live on each of those. So we shall see everybody again next week for final round of BSR Radical Thursday, and have a very good evening.